This episode of the Forward Compatible podcast has been presented by GamersGather.com. Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible podcast. This is episode 116, part 2, for April 27th, 2014. My name's Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Jason, Mark, and Massies. Hi, guys. Hey. So you missed 98% of part 1, but you were there for the tail end.
Yeah.
And now you're here for part 2.
It was exciting.
Get a lot of creative input.
Yeah.
Now, in the event you have yet to do so, please pause the video or click out. Really doesn't matter. Check it out later with part 1, where we do answer the readers' burning questions as well as cover the week's news stories.
I'm sitting next to you now. I can punch you.
But this part 2, where we cover Tony's topic of the week. So there's stuff and things in the video game world that have certain lure around them. Rumors that we really don't ever know if it's true. I remember as a child hearing a bunch of these. Some examples would be like being able to see Samus naked. You guys remember that one? These go back. There's
The Tomb Raider nude code. Why are a lot of them naked?
The Tomb Raider nude code, yes. Wasn't there even one for, was it beach volleyball?
Yes, there was.
And
Are there any of these that are not involving naked?
not really.
The Scarab
the
gun
one that
from
we're going to talk
Halo.
about specifically, I remember hearing about this for forever.
This episode is entitled Video Game Mythbusters.
Yeah. So this one, I remember hearing when I was really, really young, and we got some rumblings about it over the course of the last couple of weeks, and that, of course, is the infamous Activision garbage dump in the middle of New Mexico. Is it? Where, okay, a little history. If you guys don't know, this is the game that's kind of blamed, even though it's not all this game's fault. It was a big contributor for the big video game crash in 1983, which almost dismantled our little hobby here. Where Activision was so confident in their licensed game, they actually printed more cartridges than Atari 2600s were available in the world. The game came out, sold a few copies, spread like wildfire. That was broken, awful. It's highly regarded as one of the best game or the worst games ever created.
The game had a 2-week production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's highly regarded as the worst game, one of the worst games ever made. That, and I think Superman 64 on the top of everyone's list.
I don't know, you ever play Uncharted?
But yeah, I'll fucking smack the shit out of you.
I'm not by you now.
Yeah,
I'm in the
Mark,
worst
smack
one.
him.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T.
Name the game.
E.T. Then Activision didn't know what to do with all these cartridges that they couldn't sell. So they acquired, I guess, a piece of land, dug a big hole in the ground, and dumped all of the copies of E.T. into the ground and just covered up the mistakes and misery and hoped it would never resurface. Nobody actually had confirmation out of this because people from Activision never really talked about it. And it was always just this thing that, like, we all kind of assumed was true, but we never really knew, right? And this past week, Microsoft, I think, funded it, and they actually went... What?
Kickstarter. Originally started as a Kickstarter.
Was it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so Kickstarter funded it, and everybody was present for this, and they went to the supposed site, and they started digging, and they found it. And all the pictures started surfacing of all the ET cartridges from back then for the 2600 that were buried.
I had a conversation.
Truckloads of this shit.
I had a conversation with Brian about it, and I'll bring up my point that I mentioned to him later. But it's a pretty cool point.
Well, I have a lot to go over, but I wanted to get some initial reactions from everybody.
Okay. My first reaction I thought it was fucking awesome that they found him. And my comment to Brian is like, you know how much those things are worth? And he said nothing. I said, bullshit, man. I mean, that's like...
Copies of E.T.?
No, copies of E.T. from the landfill.
How can you prove that?
Well, I mean...
There's dirt in it.
If you've got people that are officially digging them up...
If they, like, number and bag them all?
Exactly, like catalog them. You know,
I
and then-
think there's like millions of them though.
I understand. But are you telling me, and this is where Brian and I got into our little debate on the car ride to C2E2, is you telling me you would, like if they said, buy one for $1, it's certified that it came from the landfill, you know, it's official.
I'd probably pay upwards of $5.
Yeah,
for one
that's
of
what
them.
I'm saying. I'd buy one for a couple bucks just to say that I have a piece of this bizarre, obscure video game history.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to buy just a copy of the game,
Really?
just to have it, like put in the background of the videos. Or
Like
something.
one of the worst games ever made.
Yeah, because it's so it's
I mean,
simple.
the game has value because of how horrible it was. Just on that level, I mean, have you played it?
No.
I have.
No, I haven't played it. I never actually seen a copy in real life.
I had one. It was horrible.
You couldn't get past like the second or third screen.
There was
so broken.
it was almost like a checker. From what I remember, it's like a checkerboard grid, and you kept falling into fucking holes, and his neck would just go up and down.
Well, they looked
and-
like bushes, but they were supposed to be holes.
Yeah, and I kept falling into holes.
The whole game is like 8 screens or something, or like 10 screens.
I couldn't tell you because I kept falling. I couldn't get out of the fucking hole, and then he died. He died in a hole. It predicted his future.
Ironic.
It predicted his future. So, Mark, have you ever played it?
Nope.
You've heard about this before.
I've heard about it.
Creatures.
Yeah, creature streamed it.
You know, they were in the desert.
Oh.
Falling into the goddamn holes.
The desert.
His neck, like this.
Look at this.
Mas, you are our resident video game hunter. I would say. You haven't come across one?
E.T.?
Yeah.
Oh no! At the flea market, almost every week, there's usually a vendor or two that have 2,600 games.
Mhm.
ET is almost always in there because
Really?
despite them making however many millions of them, there's still a lot of them in circulation.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like a rare and obscure game. It sells for like $3. It's a cheap game. So they're always available at the flea market.
As to my question, would you
I'm
buy
looking
one
on
that
I'm
was-
looking on eBay right now. They're going for like $1.30.
Okay. Would you buy one that was certified from
$5
this
buy it
landfill?
now.
I wouldn't care that it's from the landfill. I do want to get one just for the sake of getting it. In fact, they had it at the flea market 2 weeks ago, and I was considering getting one.
Hey, this isn't Moss's flea market
I
adventures.
know. I didn't go this week.
Bitch. Bitch.
Yeah. What about
I
you?
don't like your attitude.
Would you buy one?
Nope.
No. Tony, you would.
Oh, I totally.
Just for
Totally.
Just
Like
for
if
saying
they
that.
sealed it or put it
with
like
a little bit of
frame.
dirt or something in the bottom
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's stunning that they actually like located it because I'm not saying like technology was awful in the 70s, but do you think this is something that Activision wouldn't want like to write down the coordinates for back then? You know what I mean? This is something they clearly wanted to rid themselves of.
Well, I would.
So you wouldn't be like, oh, what if in 40 years we want to dig these up? Somebody write down the coordinates so we can find these.
I would imagine that with modern day technology, I mean they can
Tell that to the people looking for the plane.
well, whole different.
Boom! Let's do a show.
Whole different story. Okay, I'm saying, but we have the ability to actually scan the ground for like fossils and things
Yeah.
like that. So I mean, you scan the ground in an area where you think that it's at, and there's this giant mound of obscure
Weird shapes, yeah.
shapes in there. You got an idea of where to go.
Yeah. Nope. How about you, sir? Some initial thoughts on the whole thing?
Like, yeah.
What happened to the plane?
Yeah, they found it.
Have you not seen
It's too
Lost? The plane that they were going to find has been planted, and it actually doesn't exist. They're actually alive on an island. They're time traveling, and there's
Okay.
the others.
Just warping around the world. The island moves.
I think it's some type of some new like version of Survivor.
Bookie
Like the
ghosts.
plane disappeared. We'll find out in like a year when they
ABC.
release the trailer.
The
You know,
unreleased.
like this is what happened to the people on the plane.
Yeah.
Follow these camera crews around as they dig around the island.
Survivor 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do me a favor.
So
When you shave the beard,
Yeah?
you just gotta leave the mustache for one episode.
it'll be like the Star Trek episode? Is that what we're going with? The Evil Twin episode? No?
They had Dick Van Dyke, so it was this and this.
It was the whole thing. It was,
It was a good
No,
team.
but I'm telling you.
You want to know how I know
just
that?
want
Because
the-
they made fun of it in South Park.
Yeah, I just want the mustache.
Just
Just
a
the
stash.
porn.
You should do the twirlies.
No, that's too hipster.
I'm going to tie you to a railroad
No,
track.
just the stash.
If you can,
She'll
no
shave
one
it like a
can.
week.
I do have to say that I sometimes take offense when they say E.T. is the worst game of all time, since I think it sort of gives a break to all the other like really awful games.
We're gonna get to some of
I
that.
apologize for that
Spider-Man.
statement. I didn't read the script.
Well, why are you so infatuated with this?
I don't know.
No? Is it just that good?
It's just, yeah, I kind of want to touch it. Oh, bit me.
All right. So the main meat and potatoes of what I wanted to get into today is I actually didn't want to prepare anybody at all. Like normally I tell them in advance, like, hey, prepare a list, but I want to get some.
Prepare to be bent over
I want to get some off the top of the head people's reactions. So there's a big hole in the ground right now. in New Mexico.
Who's gonna fill it?
What games should fill it? That's exactly what I wanted to do for this week's Tony's Topic of the Week. And I know you were kind of breaching on it, and I'll start us off by naming my first game that we should throw in there.
Why the fuck you looking at me, man?
Spider-Man, Edge of Time. Throw that shit in the endless pit.
Another Activision game?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, I got a good one.
Okay. Well, I wanted to, or else we'll just fly through it too quick. I want to explain a little why. That game, I know I've gone off on a few tangents about it. It is truly atrocious. It's broken. It's unfun. It's ugly. Graphically garbage. There's I can't think of a redeeming quality of Spider-Man: Edge of Time, and it's sad because I liked the other one, not Friend or Foe. Jason, help me out.
I don't fucking
Web
know.
Shadows?
Web of Shadows.
Yeah, they came up with
I
some-
liked that one an awful lot. That was a good one. You got to fight with Venom and stuff. It was a fun game. Shitty story, but fun game. And Web of Shadows just had no redeeming qualities of it at all.
So mine, as a collector, I think we should throw into this landfill of crap 90% of all copies of Madden from 1994 until 2012. Just throw every single
That'd
used
be
copy in there. As well as every other basketball game, football game, baseball game, hockey game.
Moss, we're not filling. We're not filling
The Grand Canyon
Grand
here.
Canyon. I mean, it's not that big of a hole. I'm just saying, there's a lot of shitty sports games.
Discs are small, are thinner though. You can stack them nicely. We need spindles in this. But like, I hate as a collector when I go and I see somebody selling stuff and it's like, oh sweet, they got 10 GameCube games, and I go look and it's like, oh,
Madden 98, Madden 97, Madden
Live.
96.
yeah, like oh,
And
this
3
one-
games.
Yeah, and that bothers me.
They're filler.
Yeah.
Filler. They,
They shouldn't get rid of all of them.
they
Because
do
some
this-
collectors want to have one of them.
I know I'm the only one that would care about this, but maybe someone out there does. They do this with tool sets a lot. Where they're like, ooh, a 300-piece tool set. And it's really only like 150 tools because then like 100 of them are stupid like Allen keys, which don't really count. They're filler.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's to boost your
Yeah.
numbers.
You
To
know
make it
what
look like you're getting more for your money.
I don't
than you really
have like a really nice coffee table, but if I did, I'd seriously go out and buy like a shit ton of the old copies of Madden and stuff and use them as coasters.
They're cheaper.
Yeah, they are.
I remember there was that old joke on, I think it was The Simpsons, when it was actually funny, like 15 years ago. And they needed a blank tape, and he went and bought Hootie and the Blowfish. And they're like, why would you get this to record over? And they're like, it was cheaper than a blank tape.
Nice.
So,
Good one. Good one.
I would be throwing the entire series of Nintendogs in there.
fucking poodles.
The fucking
and
poodles.
labradoodles.
The fucking Labradors, fucking the new one.
Nintendogs and cats?
Yeah, and the cats one
Yeah,
too. I forgot about that
fucking
too.
cats, too.
Fucking cats going in there too.
Cats,
Spark.
that's like the god of the internet.
I don't know where I put mine.
I got yours in my
You
pocket.
can't throw cats in the field.
Can't throw cats in the field.
No, they're the god of the internet. They'll come after you. It's like, have you not seen Pet Cemetery?
Is it in the fucking desert too?
No. It's like
It's
some
in, it's in a
mountain.
cemetery with pets. This fucking guy. Jesus Christ.
They
in
bury
the
the
title.
pets and then they come back to life and they're sort of
In the
satanic.
title.
Survivor season 20. Each cats try and kill the crash survivors and fight whatever the hell that is. Oh, Rio.
I just wanted to let you keep going to see where you went with all that. I would have stopped like a minute ago, but you're just like, just fucking keep. Oh shit! Good times. Jason.
Resident Evil 6. Worst in the fucking franchise!
Really?
Yes.
Worse than Operation Raccoon City?
Yeah.
No.
Or like Dead
Or that
Survivor?
awful move and Wii mote.
Let me tell you why.
The
Dark Side Chronicles? Or
on the
Umbrella
rail, the
Chronicles?
one that was on the rails.
Oh, come on, that wasn't.
You're talking about
I didn't like it.
this one was mine?
Yeah.
Some of the early non-main series Resident Evils were awful. Gun
Let me-
Survivor.
Let me tell you why.
Uh.
Because as bad as all those other Resident Evil games were,
Like 5, the worst.
they
one.
were games, not just a big fucking cutscene where you walk from one door to the helicopter over and over and over again.
Well, I don't know. Is Metal Gear Solid 2 in that same bracket then? Or Metal Gear Solid 4 that are just cutscene?
45-minute cutscene end game.
Hey, at least I got to crawl around in a box for 5 minutes. I
And
didn't just walk through a fucking door and then a cutscene to the helicopter and then another cutscene to get on the helicopter.
Beyond Two Souls, throwing that shit in there.
Oh, it's your fucking turn.
Oh, we're still going.
Yeah,
right?
we'll just go like this. We'll go like this until we run out of some titles. I don't know.
Do you have another one?
You know the worst game I have ever played in my life? Game for the NES called Side Pocket. It's a billiards game.
Pocket Pool.
And this is what I say when people who say E.T. or Superman is the worst game, they have not played Side Pocket. It's like worse than like an online flash billiards game, but somehow in history it got released for $60 in an NES cartridge.
Nice.
And like, oh, it's like I'd like to have a E.T. in the background because at least E.T. is like, oh, it's from the movie and it's like, oh, that's the alien dude. Like Side Pocket.
The alien dude. His name is E.T.
He's an electroterrestrial.
Yes.
Yes.
He's an electric testicle.
testicle.
Electric testicles.
What is it?
Extraterrestrial.
Is anyone good at drawing out there? If someone is, I want to see the cover art cross between E.T. and electrical testicle.
Instead of his finger glowing.
Yeah, just like if someone's good at drawing out there, I want to see that.
The electrical testicle?
Just if someone's bored at
Someone
home,
should make a
draw that
sequel,
shit out.
E.T.
Did you
2.
plug that in?
Tony.
Beavis and Butthead on the SNES.
Oh, come on. That was like bad, but it has nostalgia.
No, that game is atrocious, especially
Oh.
when you hold it. It doesn't hold any candle up to the fucking Genesis. It's not even a fun game. It's broken.
I
hate-
had fun with it.
Huh?
I had fun.
On the on the
That
SNES.
was
That was only
the
like-
platform that I played it on. I didn't have a Genesis, so I played it on.
It's one of those like bad games that you have nostalgia for. Like sort of like the original Turtles too. Like people say that's like an awful game. I like the original Turtles. I don't know if you played the original Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
NES Turtles.
I like
The
it.
fucking damn
Not
level.
NES.
He watched the Creatures play it once.
Yeah.
Genesis I did. All those ones.
But like, okay, now that game is considered like atrociously hard and difficult, like hardened.
Yeah, because you got those boss fights where you can cheat and stuff. You got to find flaws, like Donatello with that fucking stick just going like
Yeah.
this to knock the boss out. You just
I don't
remember
know
that
what
because you
you're
couldn't get
talking about, man. I
touched?
couldn't pass the fucking dam.
Oh, really?
I think maybe like 3 times.
You fight him before the dam, though.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that game that much.
The dam's not that hard. If you get to the Technodrome,
Ooh, he's
then,
calling you
oh
a
my
bitch.
God.
That's fine.
Ooh.
That's fine. Mark.
Beyond Two Souls is going back to the desert from which it came. Thanks.
Really easy.
I don't think Beyond Two Souls was a good game, but I don't think it was that bad.
It's just funny.
It was
'cause it's gotta be in that
it
goddamn
was
desert.
the epitome of mediocre. That is the definition, if you will, sir. Are you actually grabbing it? Quit breaking the wall.
Damn.
My God, yeah.
This piece of shit.
Jesus Christ.
He's getting violent.
There's like dust.
What else we got back here?
start ripping posters off the wall. You sucked.
Parts of
You
the wall falling
sucked!
off and shit.
Gears of War Judgment.
I think everyone else is good.
That was a fucking mistake. Stupid people can fly.
Was that your favorite franchise until that came out?
No,
Still is your favorite. Oh, no?
it's my
No.
favorite. It's my favorite modern friend. Like modern.
Yeah.
Like
Last couple
yeah,
generations.
you know, it's my. That's my that's my Halo, and that was just fucking atrocious.
Because you were such a big Gears fan.
I still am.
Just
But that, I mean,
But
you
you
don't
like
talk
three-
about that.
you
Like
don't
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
we
3,
haven't
you just
had
don't
one
talk about
since
it.
that.
You
That's
don't like
the thing.
3 either, though.
I love 3.
No, 3's really good.
I love 3. I hated parts of 3 because
Dom.
somebody made me play through it on fucking the hardest setting to get achievements, and it took 2.5
I just stole Andy.
fucking hours. Oh, Mira, you're a bitch. Still have nightmares about that. I lied to Tony the other day. He's like, "You want to play some horde mode?" I'm like, "My PS or my 360's not hooked up." I'm like, "No, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Can't go back to that right now."
So we could have played 2.
It's that fucking desert. For
2
Jason.
was awesome.
Yeah, but no, Judgment deserves to be completely erased from the fucking history of video games. That's how bad it was.
I'm sure it wasn't as bad as some of the games that came out on the Wii.
No.
Like Carnival games,
Let me just put in 95% of everything that came out
Game
of the Wii.
Party 2.
I think it'd be easier to like list off the salvageable
Well,
titles from the
yeah.
Wii.
Yeah. If
So
you want
we
these
should
titles,
put all the Wii titles on the truck. Send them all there, and then
Just
have
pick off the
have
10
some-
games that are worthwhile.
Have somebody just stand there at the landfill just waiting. My God. I'm done.
You ripped it purpose.
You know, that thing might be worth something.
Anymore.
It's about as worth as much as those fucking ET cartridges in the fucking desert.
Yeah.
Yup.
It's been through hell, literally.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, this whole wall's coming down, just not today.
The wall too, not just the
Yeah,
posters?
just
Redesign, sir. Redesign.
Yeah,
What's with the random Google logo?
because that's our letter from Google.
Oh, we got a letter from Google.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're hardcore.
Thanks, Google.
You want to learn how to kill a fucking AAA franchise? Right here. Right here.
The whole the Coltrane.
we don't need multiplayer. Oh.
Was that the worst, like, good franchise that got a bad sequel?
No! No! Whose turn is it? Can I jump ahead?
It's gonna be mine. It's gonna be Uncharted 4.
Let me
It's
jump
gonna be
ahead. Let me jump ahead here, right? Moss's question. Fable fucking 3. Fable fucking 3.
Yeah.
I didn't play Fable fucking
You're lucky
3.
I don't
did
have
play
any
Fable.
Fable shit here. Give me the box. Give me the box.
Oh, I gotta move Mega Man.
It's fine.
Oh, don't touch my Mega Man.
Okay.
Come on.
Crash
Come on.
is down.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
Evil Dead is
Why
coming
does
out
it
too.
tape to? Oh my god.
Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Okay, a little stupid.
That's the
Yeah.
Evil Dead book. Okay, don't break
Fable
that one.
3.
That one at least is a
Nice, cool
collectible.
collector's edition box.
Don't break it. Don't
Yeah.
break it. Please
It
don't
was
break
cool.
it. Don't break
I
it.
thought there was like a little door on here with
And
it.
here comes the putter toss. Oh wait.
The
Do we have a reformed Happy Gilmore?
There it is. Look at it. There's a little coin. The fucking deck of cards. This is worth more than the fucking game was.
Yeah, I know. That's why don't.
Fable 3.
Worst in the franchise.
Worse than the
Better than
franchise.
the Journey. Fable the.
No.
Don't count it.
No. This is the tag.
That was the
question
driving
chat. Like,
into the
you
ground.
want to learn how to kill a AAA franchise? Fable fucking 3 is the one that set the bar. It's what set the bar how to do it. It was horrible.
Gran Turismo 5. Could throw that
Prologue?
bitch. Could throw that bitch.
Prologue?
No, no, no. Could throw that bitch in the landfill.
Prologue
too.
is fine.
Go ahead and throw that shit in the landfill too. My God, all the progress they've made and all the delays and like South Park showed the world how to delay correctly. That, in my opinion, is the game that needs to be dethroned this year for Game of the Year, and that scared a lot of people after the year and 2 months cumulative that it got delayed throughout the course, of its life. And Gran Turismo went through a similar thing, even longer. I think it was about 3 years of just every 6 months, it's getting delayed again, it's getting delayed again, it's getting delayed again. And I had hope, because I was a big Gran Turismo fan, and then 5 came out, and it's dog shit. It's dog shit.
Well, that was not universally considered a bad game. It was like.
It's the best-selling PS3 exclusive.
Yeah, no, it was not really considered. I'm saying it's. Critics thought it was not as good as 4, but like not.
Yeah, I don't know. It was bad. They cheaped out in a lot of areas. Like like they made like one of their big selling points was the cockpit view, the all new redesigned cockpit view, and they were toting over 1,000 cars in game, but they only took the time to actually do that to about 150 cars.
Mm-hmm.
So the other 850 didn't have that, and
And they still had the PlayStation.
they were
2
so
one, right?
lazy. Some of the cars were sheer ports from Gran Turismo 4. They still said PS2 on the side of the car. That's how lazy they were in that game. It was a bad game.
It's your turn,
Wasn't thinking.
Moss.
Run on Steam.
Ready? You can't get shitty games.
What?
Well, I'd probably say
I've been gaming for almost 3 decades. I got fucking shitty games coming out the fucking ass.
I don't know if I throw them in the landfill. Because I'd be
They're
like,
bad, but
I'd be like, guys, if you're gonna throw them, give them to me. I'll collect them in the store.
in 50 years they might be worth something.
No, they won't.
ET style, $4
You know,
a pop.
here's the thing about that. Games like when I talk to people about like NES games, like Mega Man 6, for example, on the NES, one of the last NES games to come out. And I tell people, yeah, it's pretty rare. It sells for about $50, $60. The thing is, when that came out in '94, it was $60. So it's been almost 20 years since Mega Man 6 came out, and it's the same price it came out then. So if you didn't buy that game and just saved that money through savings, you would actually have more money now. So the games are not really. There's like 25 NES games in existence that are worth more now than when they came out.
So it doesn't pay off, is what you're saying.
No. Outside those.
I know Earthbound is one of them. I can't even
For
name
Super
the
Nintendo,
other.
yeah, there's like
That's
again, like
that's a game.
less, maybe 15.
And I think Final Fantasy Sealed, Final Fantasy 7, Sealed.
Sealed is a different story.
As long as it's not a PlayStation greatest hits. Greatest hits copies aren't worth shit.
Yeah. Well, because
Well,
they came
what's
out at
that?
$20
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck. It
Sealed
was.
games is a different story, but who the hell's getting a game to not open it? Not at the time of at the time of launch. Actually, I have done that too. But like, I don't think people were doing that 20 years ago. I don't think anybody had the idea. Like, oh wow, double dribble in the NES. Let me get this and not open it. Maybe in 120 years it'll be worth $100 instead of 60.
All right. You know what else is going into the landfill?
Oh god.
Grand Theft Auto 4.
It's a bad game.
It was. I know you didn't care for 5, but
No. Okay. Well, 5. I could see the genius behind it. I don't think it merited the hype, the sales, and the reviews that it earned because it was a very
Awesome game.
It was a very good game.
Talking about 4 or 5.
5. 4 was bad.
well, here's why
Nobody
it
said 4 was bad.
Here's why it got all the great stuff that it did because 4 was so shitty.
But nobody
So they were
thought
able
4
to
was
take
shitty
4
at the time. This is like revisionist history with 4.
I think
It's
4,
my landfill.
I think-
and I hated it when I played it.
Yeah.
No, I think
I'm like,
4
who's
was
this?
I think 4 was one of those things where people were blown away by the scope when it came out, and it had that new car feel to it, and everybody's like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and like the
And then
months
they
that passed,
played it,
and
and
were
they had
kinda
to go
like
on
maybe
dates, and they had to play darts,
go bowling,
and all this stupid
I
stuff
think
that they
people-
required you to do.
Yeah.
Like you had to do it to advance certain sections of the game. And then Nico Bellic was a lackluster main character. He really didn't have any of the redeeming qualities that any of the past GTA characters had.
even the new guys were way cooler.
Exactly.
So you actually think it's not just a game you're indifferent about, like, yeah.
No, it's
you
a
actually
game.
think it's bad.
It's a game that I paid
Wow.
full price for the collector's edition and like regretted it within a week of buying it because
Wow.
it was
Okay.
fucking horrible.
Dragon Age 2. There, I said it. Do something about
I
it.
never played any of them.
The first one,
I don't like that fantasy shit.
the first one is. I noticed that you really don't, do you? You're into like way more geeky stuff than I am, and the couple things I like, you're just like, no, fuck off.
I don't do all that.
You
That's
don't
why.
like fantasy sports. You don't like
Well, that's why I can't get into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not a. They call it high fantasy. I'm not a high fantasy.
I like that. I like that shit. I like Game of Thrones a lot. I like this a lot. The Dragon Age, and the first one I never beat it, but I enjoyed it a lot. And Mark's fingering me again. What is that, a little pull tab?
That's what it looks like.
What the fuck happened?
Well, Mark drank my fucking soda.
Just a little bit.
I don't know where that.
Just a new guy. The first one was a very good RPG. It wasn't a great game. It had a really cool story, some interesting mechanics. It's actually one of the few turn-based games I liked. Because that one, you got to control a whole team. It wasn't a guy. It was like 4. It wasn't really turn-based. What's it called when you don't really...
Real time.
Real time. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I enjoyed the first one a lot, and they tried to make it a game that would have a widened audience with Dragon Age 2, and it ended up just pissing all the people off that did like the first one. So, Dragon Age 2.
I'm done. Yeah, I have a lot of games that I'm indifferent about.
Okay.
That they're like
Get up.
not good, but I wouldn't throw them away.
Yep. No.
It's Jason and Tony show. 'Cause we're going to go for like an hour. All right.
Are we
Let's
really?
zoom the camera in. No. Mas, move the camera in. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Let's bring it
There
home.
we go.
Let's bring it home.
Okay. So, speaking of landfill games, this one's going to be a little controversial, but again, it's got my moniker of worst in the franchise, and that would be Skyward Sword.
Oh shit!
It's coming back.
Oh shit! Oh
So this is so bad where you don't even think, you don't want to pretend that it exists anymore. Get rid of it. Like, even game, like,
Annihilate.
He is flustered.
This is
he
worse
can't
than-
form a sentence right now. He is fuming.
take a game like you don't give a shit about, like a Disney Infinity or something. That's okay. But Skyward Sword, we're throwing it away. Again, how far did you get into the game?
About 2 hours.
Have you beaten it?
About 2 hours.
Okay, so you're about 5% through it.
Worst game ever.
Worst in the franchise.
Okay.
Worst in the franchise.
Okay. Also, I'm. Okay. This has nothing to do. Hold on. This doesn't have anything to do specifically with Skyward Sword. Just kind of what you guys are talking about. And I want to say this. I hate slow burning games.
Okay, I agree with that.
Like, Skyward Sword could be... I didn't finish this either. This is one of the... I think the only full-fledged console game I never got through. Zelda-wise. But I got significantly further than Jason. But any game... You know, say it's a... Just for round number's sake, say it's a 25-hour game. And hours 15 through 25 make for the best Zelda they've ever made. You shouldn't have to go through 15 hours of garbage to get to that, though. You know what I mean? I hate all, and that's just in trying to incorporate it to what you guys are talking about. There's a lot of games that did this. Like, Beyond Two Souls was a slow burn, too.
That's
And-
the exact reason that I can't get into the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls, because they are very slow burning games. Sure, the back end content may be great, but if it doesn't hook me within the first couple hours, I'm out.
How far did you get in Skyward Sword? Did you get to the land?
Yeah.
You got down to the surface. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's the first hour you're in Skyloft.
Yeah.
And there's just so much story.
I got-
it's like a Paper Mario where there's just text and text.
Yes.
Like 5-minute cutscenes in a Zelda game is too long for the beginning.
I got all the way through
Not-
the redid fucking Deku people. Through their
redid.
little whatever. Well, they didn't look normal to me.
the little
They don't call them Dekus though, right?
no, they're the Kikwood.
There we go.
Yep.
But they, yeah. So I got through running around finding
Did you get the
bullshit
first
for them.
dungeon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm just at that point I wasn't feeling it. So if you want, you play the first 2 hours and then hand me the control, and I'll go from there and we'll see how I like it. Maybe I'll
But you needed to play
maybe
the
I'll
first
dig
hour for
it
the
back
story.
up. Maybe I'll dig it back up.
that.
I'll watch you play the first 2 hours. I can watch somebody else play. Any game, no matter how boring it is, I can watch somebody play. But when I'm doing it, I'm like, what the fuck, man?
But look, the way I see this, of the Wii, well, how many games have there been on the Wii? Like 2,000 or something?
At least 1,000 because there's two pre-owned SKUs for it. So
Okay, let's just
At
say
least
there's
1,000.
1,000. A round number. There's exactly 1,000 Wii games. Skyward Sword is without a doubt better than 950 of them, even the people who absolutely hate the game.
The reason that I'm putting it,
I think you're not even giving it enough credit. I'd say it's in the top 975 because I agree. I think it's one of the worst Zeldas too. I'm not gonna lie. I've said that many times, but I can only probably name 10 or 12 better Wii games.
I 100% agree with you that it's in the upper echelon of quality.
Not even upper. I'm talking like top 5%.
I'm
like for every
100%
20,
agree.
there's one better.
And that's
Maybe,
why
according
it
to
goes
you.
in the landfill. Is because
So you would put all 95% of
no,
those
no,
there.
because
just that one.
I knew
Just the ones that make the 6th percentile.
because that game should know better. That game should know better. Okay, that franchise, that series, Nintendo should have known better.
Well,
Okay, when 505 makes Dart Simulator,
we're like burying this game literally.
when 505 makes Dart Simulator 7, I know what I'm to expect out of it. I understand it's shovelware. Okay, the first time that I had an inkling that I wasn't going to enjoy the Skyward Sword is when Miyamoto couldn't get it to work right on stage. Okay, they overhyped the game. The controls.
Oh, I wouldn't say they overhyped it.
I couldn't stand.
No, they did not overhype.
I couldn't stand the controls.
That was when the Wii was already on its way out. When that game came out, people were already talking about the Wii U when Skyward Sword was coming out. It was.
For me, it didn't deliver.
There was so little hype for it because it was 3 years too late.
Okay.
I don't agree with you about the hype.
That's fine.
There's been a lot of hype for Zelda games. And
My
Skyward Sword
landfill.
did not have that.
My landfill. And
You're
it's
right.
in there.
Okay.
It's in there.
I'd like to point out that there's a lot of Zelda fans out there who think Skyward Sword is the best Zelda game.
I understand.
Are they really?
I really.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because as much as we want to criticize it, that game, if you actually play through the whole thing, is the most heavy story-based Zelda game there ever is. And a lot of criticism of the Zelda series is there's really not a story, and it's generic.
And I'm making this 100% clear. I have not beaten the game. If I sit down and play it, my entire perspective can change. Just like I was the #1 advocate out of all of us for Resident Evil 6.
I was the one who was against it.
Until I played it.
Because I was so distraught by Resident Evil 5.
I can be swayed. I don't have a problem with that. When I sat down, my initial playthrough, when it came out, I got my free copy of it, played it, didn't enjoy it.
Did the exact opposite as you.
Am
I
I-
walked into it like, this is going to suck. And
Am I gonna try it again? Yes. So that's why I said I want Andrew Dillon to write this down so that in 6 months or whenever I can get to playing it again, and then I'm sucking that big fat Skyward Sword cock, okay?
It's so good!
Okay, which
More
is
inches.
which is a strong possibility. It's a great possibility.
More inches!
But I'm basing it on my experience. But I'm basing it on my experience with what I've had with it so far. So that's solely on that. It's not made to offend anybody. Is it supposed to be a little controversial? Yeah. That's the point of a discussion podcast. So that's why that's there. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I'm throwing Assassin's Creed. I'm throwing Call of Duty.
Not Assassin's Creed too.
Mass Effect.
I'd throw Brotherhood
They're
in
all
there.
fucking going.
Are you throwing 99% of all games that ever existed?
Yes.
Why the fuck
Yes. Yes. I mean, if we're gonna fucking do it, let's not half-ass it, okay? I'm throwing fucking Mario Kats in there, and I haven't even played it. They put
Mario
on
Kart
cat
sauce.
suit.
You bite your tongue,
They
sir.
put cat
You bite
suits
your
on.
fucking tongue.
It's going in the fucking landfill, okay? All right.
Mark's back.
That's-
Mark's back, by the way.
I got it. Oh, you missed the excitement, Mark.
Okay.
Oh, he heard it.
I'm going to go back to a serious one here. Let's throw any dancing game ever made. Just Dance, fucking...
Guitar Hero, all the spin-off ones,
oh,
just add-on packs.
God.
DDR?
Yes.
Really?
In the fucking ground.
I thought DDR. I don't play DDR, but I liked watching people.
That was
play
actually
DDR.
probably the coolest one they've ever made. That is because that thing
a social
screams. That thing screams arcade, and anything in the arcade belongs in the arcade. Like some stuff that are just arcade games, they're cool to have when it's weird shit like that because you got, social gathering of real people in real life in a room, and some things are just made for that, and I think DDR is. That wouldn't translate very well to the Homestead, and I think they tried it with
They have
a little
pad.
weird map.
Nobody has one.
And no bueno.
No. All those fucking plastic accessories, and this is coming from the guy who has Rock Band
And plastic accessories.
and plastics accessories. All that shit going in the landfill.
The Power Glove.
Can we throw a whole console in there? Because there go them fucking Virtual Boys.
Oh no, I want them. Give me the
Really?
Wonder Swan, throw them in there.
Have you thought of any more while you were pooping?
Yeah.
I wish we had the lapel mics.
What would it be?
Splash.
Pokemon, the hell was it? Tarachi or something like
They're
that?
just
They
hating
were
on your shit
awful.
right now.
I mean,
They're all throwing in Darksiders.
what,
No, I'm just
If-
kidding.
if-
I
if-
like
if we're gonna
Darksiders.
throw Pokemon-
I was like, if everybody's gonna rip on your series.
if we're gonna throw Pokemon in the landfill, we gotta throw XD Gale of Darkness in there. Okay?
All
Because
the
that was
mystery
fucking
dungeons.
garbage. Mystery dungeons, anything that's a spin-off of Pokemon.
Really? Mystery Dungeon? Those are considered good though. No, the
Garbage!
Coliseum and the Coliseum sequel. That's what you were just talking about, right?
No, XD Gale of Darkness was the GameCube one, which actually had a story.
Yeah,
and it
it's sort of
tried
like
to
the
replicate.
It's
what,
a pseudo sequel of
Yeah.
Coliseum. That's
yeah,
what
but
they-
it tried to replicate what kind of like a hybrid version
Yeah.
of what the handhelds were doing. And
Yeah,
it was just,
yeah.
It was fucking bad.
Yeah.
All the old Dynasty Warriors. No point.
Oh, that has its.
Any
Just a new one,
first-person
just a new
shooter, any first-person shooter that uses a hip-hop song on the commercial, going in the fucking landfill. That's all of them.
Yeah, as I said, it's Battlefield, Medal of Honor, and Call of Duty.
All in the fucking landfill.
On a serious note, Batman and Robin. Do you remember that piece of garbage?
What console?
64, I want to say. No good.
How about any Batman game from the
From the
NES
beginning of
era
time
to-
until Arkham Asylum,
Yeah, about right.
No, because you
Something
have to
classic
throw
was
Origins
okay.
in there too. Sorry.
it's not that good.
No.
I haven't played that one, so I don't
No.
have an opinion.
I mean, it's.
It's the same thing.
I still haven't beaten it because it's that
Can I
it's
ask you
that
a
bad.
question? Are there any games in existence that are in your gray area that are not either good or bad? Because it seems any game that's not good is awful, in your opinion.
Yeah, there are. Can't name them right now. I'm sure there's some.
I mean, why there have to be absolutes here? It's either amazing or it's awful. Like,
Because
it's pretty good. You don't-
because
pretty
I worked in a fucking industry, retail for that many years, and it's jaded me.
Okay. See, I'm of the belief that 99% of games I don't care about since I don't play them. I'm not going to throw them away. And
But I had it's different because I had to sell a lot of this garbage. Okay, I had to
Walking
physically
Dead.
put my hands on it. Okay, yes, Walking Dead, the survival
Survival
instinct.
instinct.
blood on your hands.
Landfill.
Landfill. Sorry, Dad.
Another Activision game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I named a couple of them just to make.
Who made Lollipop Chainsaw?
I don't remember.
If that was Activision, that's just awesome.
No, I think that's like. I don't think it's Studio 51, is it?
You know what it was? It was Hot Trash.
Yeah.
That game. Hot Trash.
That was.
Hot garbage.
And I like fucking hack and slashes, and that game just no bueno. Well, you guys were talking about though, I have a lot of gray areas. Like I think there's a lot of really amazing games. I think there's a ton of good games. I think there's a lot of mediocre games. I think there's places for everything. Like
Almost everything.
I think it's cool that you have some of those. I mean, everything can't be a 10 out of 10 because you'll never get those weird experiences. Something like Portal or something like that may have never been thought up if something as zany as like, Limbo or like an Octodad or some of their predecessors. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but something that came before Portal that gave them a weird, funky idea of like, why can't we, make a fake hole in the wall and have that be me popping out right there, even though I was just right here. Like that kind of zany, goofy stuff won't come along without an Octodad.
Sure.
And without Octodad, like, I don't even know if it's good. It looks hysterical. It might be the worst game ever
It
made.
very well could.
But
be.
if you don't do shit like that, it doesn't even get the AAA guys thinking because they're so concerned with, man, we got to like
What worked last year?
Yeah, we got $70 million going into this game. We got to make sure we make $70 million back. they got to be very cautious. So, like, all these weird games have a place.
To answer your question, actually, Moss, and
Took him 5 minutes, but he got
a good example is Darksiders. Okay, it wasn't for me. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible.
I like
It was okay. It was good. You know,
Yeah.
it was a good little franchise.
That's a solid B franchise.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
You know,
I played better hack and slashers,
any
but
of
they're
these
good games.
any of these horrible
Did you play
Evil
two?
Dead games.
Huh?
you play two?
I have it. I bought it off Brian.
So you're basing your just on part 1.
Yeah, I like part one.
These right here.
I like part one. It's good.
Yeah, but 2 is so much better.
Both of these. These were not good games, but I guess because of some of the
Both THQ games.
both THQ games,
Same with Darksiders.
and they're basic hack and slashers, but they
Same
made them
with Darksiders.
interesting enough.
Same with Darksiders.
You know what they're missing? Bruce Campbell.
Darksiders missing Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Or Evil Dead is missing Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
Both.
these have Bruce Campbell. He does the
We
voice.
have Mark
in both of
Hamill.
them. But Mark Hamill's no Bruce Campbell.
And if they ever make an Uncharted movie, Bruce Campbell should so be Sully.
Yep.
He's Sully
The only problem with that is that he's already played that character.
in Burn Notice.
Yeah.
I know. It's what he is. The slightly older,
Yeah.
very experienced guy who's been doing this for decades.
Another one going in the landfill? WWF WrestleMania the arcade game.
Oh, I have weird nostalgia about that.
I like that game.
That was not that bad.
You know, with the,
In the scope of
the
like,
game
that's one of
oozes. The game oozes
like-
machismo.
Think of this.
I only put it in there because I lost.
but like, I put
Well,
like.
then fuck that weird number 6 game with Purple Dude.
Oh, Samurai
Samurai
Show.
No,
Showdown.
that's actually cool. That's a cool game.
Here's another prime example. We were at Galloping Ghost on Thursday, right? That weird Windjammer game. Wasn't great.
You played for a half hour.
Yeah, it's like fucking Pong, but it's like a tournament. It's weird. It's weird.
That's going to
Windjammer.
landfill.
Huh?
Oh no, that's your gray area. Game.
Yeah, that's a gray area.
So those are going on the truck, but they're not getting tipped over.
Yeah.
Those are
They're
going.
like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Those are just going to the dump.
Yeah, I'll take that million copies back. Yeah, no problem.
Where? I got this. All right. Final thoughts. Let's wrap this bitch up.
I want a copy of the ET from the landfill.
I'm gonna get a copy of ET at the flea market and bring it here. I think that we need to add that to our back row.
It's going away.
All in favor? Aye.
Don't pay more than $5 because
it's
they're
go-
on
it's-
eBay for $5. Buy it now.
Yeah,
So
It's
don't pay
going
more than
away.
Oh, this is going.
It's changing.
Everything,
$5.
even all my children, my
No,
Wario.
your children are going to have specific homes.
Oh, where's Megan? Oh, there he is.
He's a little drunk right now.
You're taking this down too?
Oh, crash.
Why?
We'll go over it.
From what it sounds like, our landfill.
Leave Wario there. They just take Sonic.
No, Wario's dirty. He needs home.
Our landfill has to
What's
be
that?
expanded by 5, 6, 8 times at least. Put a few million more copies in there.
This has been episode 116, part 2. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you next week, same time, same place.
Yori, 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 yori.